Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Seheru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. So I was talking to someone, and he asked me, can a boring person, a person, who's boring, keep their lover satisfied in and outside of the bedroom? So this is my thing. Everybody isn't exciting. Everybody is not. They're not interesting and creative and authentic and unique and, artists and dancing around. Some people are just average, ordinary, normal people, and that's okay. It takes all types for this world to go around. So everybody's not going to be the most interesting or have the most interesting ideas. I don't really expect that, and I'm okay with that. And you should be too, because it's how the world goes around. They're all types. So if a person is boring, quote unquote, can they keep their lover satisfied? I would think that it might be difficult depending upon what their lover wants. You see, this is the thing about having a lover that I've come to find. You have to speak your lover's language. Whatever your lover's love language is. And there's a book called The 5 Love Languages. I've talked about it before. I did a video about it before. And all of us have a different love language. So basically, you have to talk your lover's love language. If your lover feels love by getting words of affirmation, then you have to give your lover words of affirmation. If your lover feels love by being cherished or by you giving them little things, tokens of appreciation or gifts, then you need to give those things to your lover and do those things for your lover, your husband, your wife, your whatever. So if you're a boring person, but you speak their love language, you should be able to still keep your lover because you're speaking their language, even though you're not that creative, you're not that fun, you're not that exciting. Now, if part of their love language is they need to be with someone like that, they shouldn't be with you in the first place. They got the wrong person in the first place if that's part of their love language. So I'm assuming if the person is with you, that's not part of their love language, and all you have to do is learn how to speak their love language, even though you're not that exciting, you're not that thrilling, and that's in and out of the bedroom. Some people are perfectly fine with vanilla sex, perfectly fine with it, and they do it, and from from the beginning of their sexual life to the end, and they're perfectly fine with it. Everybody's not a freak, everybody's not in the kink. That's some people's thing. It doesn't have to be everybody's. So in the bedroom, if you're boring, if you don't really like doing those kind of things, all you got to do is get with a lover that's the same way. Get yourself a nice vanilla lover, and y'all can go about your business having nice vanilla sex for the rest of your life, missionary style or whatever it is that you're into. Everybody doesn't have to be exactly the same. And I think that's a problem in our society because everybody gets on these trends. If one person is into something and they say it's decent, then everybody wants to try it. But guess what? Everything ain't for everybody. So just because I enjoy it, me and my squad might think it's fun, doesn't mean you and your squad are going to think it's fun. That's the thing about being human. There are billions of us. So we get to pick and choose. There's variation on the planet for a reason. So if you consider yourself to be boring, that's fine. You can be boring and still satisfy your partner. You just have to speak their language. And I'm sure your partner would not be with you if they really wanted an exciting, fun, dynamic partner, if that's what they wanted from the relationship. And to me, that's not even really what's important in the relationship. If my partner was boring, it wouldn't really bother me because I'm entertaining enough. So I would keep us both entertained, So it really wouldn't bother me like that as long as they were open-minded. Like if you're boring and you never want to do anything, that's going to be a big problem because I'm not going to want to do everything by myself. You know, I'm not going to be expecting you to bungee jump or jump out of planes or nothing like that. But I do expect you to go with me. You know, you might not want to get a tattoo, but at least you can go with me when I get mine. You know, that kind of thing. So it's like, if you're boring but willing to please your partner in and out of the bedroom, you'll hold on to your partner. Because it's not the boring part that's going to make them go away. It's the you not engaging part that's going to make them go away. You know, they might be interesting enough, like I said, in the case of myself, that they can think of fun things for you to do. They don't need you to be fun and spontaneous and that kind of thing. They just need you to participate in the relationship. They need you to show up with their love language. You see? So it's okay. Like, even like I said, in my case, if I met somebody that was boring, for example, let's say I met a woman who was like a lawyer and she was boring and she wasn't really into the crazy stuff that I'm into, but we liked each other, you know, because opposites sometimes attract. And if we liked each other, but she wasn't all that exciting, but she was willing, you know, to go with me while I did crazy stuff and to be around and to, you know, laugh and joke, then I would be fine with that. I don't need her to entertain me. I don't need her to always be on. I'm always on. So you're good. You're good. All I need you to do is be my companion. And a boring person can be a companion if they so choose. Now, if you're going to be boring and closed off and not want to talk and not, you know, be in the room with your stack of books, that's a relationship that's not going to work. You know, you have to be willing to engage. But if you're boring and willing to engage, if you're boring and willing to learn my love language and give it back to me, if you're boring and willing to communicate, I can get past the boring part. And also, you might become more interesting from being around a more entertaining person. A lot of times we take on some of the characteristics of our lovers. So somebody who's boring might become more interesting, maybe not, but they might become more interesting over time. Even if it's just a little bit. Even if they just pick up a little hobby here and there that is interesting to you. So it really does depend. But if they're not willing to try those things, then it's not going to work. If this person is, you know, boring and not willing to engage, not willing to speak your love language, it's not going to work. But I would just say that's one of those things about compatibility. You know, when you first meet somebody, if you have to force it, if you guys are not compatible, then this is the kind of thing that's going to become a problem later on, you see. So you have to ask yourself, as the boring person, am I fulfilling my partner's needs without changing myself? Am I fulfilling their needs? Am I speaking their love language? Am I doing those things for them? You know, and you should also talk to your partner, because a lot of times we think a problem is a problem that's not a problem, but something else could be a problem that we don't think is a problem. So a lot of that communication stuff that I always talk about, this is where it comes up at. I would even ask them, babe, do you think I'm boring? And they'd be like, no, or yeah. Okay, so are there things that I could do to be more interesting? Ask the question and don't be afraid of the answer. They might tell you, yeah, you're boring, but it's cool. Or, yeah, you boring. I wish you would at least go places with me. You ain't got to participate, but just go. You know, it might be something like that. So you have to be curious and communicative in your relationships. Man, one day when I get in a relationship, wait till y'all see this. Wait till y'all see this, because I'm going to use all these techniques. I swear I'm going to use every last single one. And for those of you who are currently in a relationship, if one of you is boring, tell me, how do you deal with it? Tell me, how does it affect the relationship if you or your spouse or you or your lover or both of you are kind of boring? Because I would assume that if you're both boring is cool. You're probably just both bored together. But I'm wondering about when one of you is and one of you isn't. Tell us in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. All right, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Likewise, if you know somebody who's in this situation, please pass on this video and tell them I said I'm dying to hear how they balance this out. Because I think you can balance it out, but it's a real interesting act, okay? Likewise, guys, if you want to send me some gifts, My love language is gifts. Can you imagine? I bet those of you who didn't know that probably guessed that because I'm always getting another gift. But that is my number one love language. My mother always gave us things. Always. And for me, it makes me feel, especially when it's given to me in love, it makes me feel really warm and fuzzy. So if you want to send me a gift, I'll leave my Amazon wish list. If you want to give me a love donation, I will leave my PayPal. If you would like to get a reading, a tarot reading, if you want to get me your chart done, if you want me to consult on some magic that you're doing, please email me for an appointment or hit me up on social media. I'll leave those things too. All right, guys, thank you for being here with me, and I will see you next time because I have a lot more to say. See you later.